Good evening, viewers. This is the Colonel speaking to you live from the Grange for British Imperial YouTube Broadcasting, and we have the fifth part of the Gramophonic murder mystery, where we meet French EMG Collectors, or do we? The Professor and the Squire were heading into Herefordshire, a county renowned for its sheep and cream teas, but not together, obviously, viewers. Who is this gramophone dealer with the prominent teeth, and why are the Knights of the Ring going to so much trouble to impersonate him? Asked the Squire. That is quite a story, began the Professor, as the hansom cab sped them through the leafy lanes of the rural county, the fragrance of the roadside bocage filling the cab with a refreshing country air as they passed the pig farm. The dealer with the prominent teeth made his money from a particularly popular brand of instant coffee, began the Professor. Nescafe? Interrupted the Squire. No, the other one, replied the Professor. Bisto? Tried the Squire. No, that's gravy, replied the Professor. Ajax? No, he's a Greek hero, said the Professor angrily. Duchy Original, said the Squire, proffering a silver dish with some delightful-looking biscuits on it. Don't you know the correct etiquette for offering biscuits of this pedigree, Squire? Asked the Professor. No, I don't think I do, replied the Squire. You must pass the duchy on the left-hand side, Squire. Anyway, the dealer with the prominent teeth invented this instant coffee and made a fortune, allowing him to buy any time, any place, anywhere. Wasn't that, asked the Squire. Don't interrupt again, snapped the Professor. He could use his money to outbid the ring, and so any auction he attends is immediately thought to be untainted by ring activities. But, Professor, asked the Squire, how will we know if we find the real one? A good question, replied the Professor. Many months ago I visited the Austinian country barn of a military EMG man, and I saw teeth marks on the dashboard of his vintage car, and so took a cast in blue tack. So if we find the dealer with the prominent teeth, I can push some blue tack into his mouth without him noticing, and then compare the results with the blue tack original, and thus see if the unique prominence of the teeth is the same. Genius, said the Squire. No, Squire, just elementary dentistry, replied the Professor, rather smugly. They arrived in the courtyard of the auction house and spotted the car of the leading ring dealer with its unique number plate, A1 4 G&T, next to a three-wheeled van with a curiously hairy ginger rain cover and a beard-mobile with a few blood spots on the rear door. Let's go round. They're here, exclaimed the Professor. Let's go round the back and don our disguises. We will appear to be French EMG collectors. Do such things exist? Asked the Squire. No, of course not, said the Professor, but they won't know that. I spent 20 years in France and never met a gramophone collector. It was said that they existed, but like Bigfoot, or Grand-Pied, as they say, they were legendarily elusive characters who only came out for the annual Hot Pied Day, Proudfoot Day, when they worshipped the great statue of the Proud Foot in the village of Colombe-les-Deux-Églises by throwing Pathé records at the nose of the statue, and if one managed to get a record to hang from the lump on the end, then that collector would win a CLPGS golden anorak and a volume of medieval tales by the celebrated knight Sir Jean de Calais. Les from my own collections, it was entitled. Obviously in French, but I couldn't make that one up. Anyway, the disguise is complete. They went into the sale room and approached the auctioneer, a figure with a familiar nose. Avez-vous un catalogue, s'il vous plaît? Asked the Professor in impeccable allo French, the strings of onions round the Professor's neck nearly knocking Proudy's specs off. Our heroes took the thin volume from the auctioneer and studied it. What's this? Said the Squire. These descriptions don't tell us anything. Indeed they don't, said the Professor. What is a Casa Reale Gramophone? It's this one over here, said the Squire, pointing at an elegant G&T machine with wonderful circular inlaid panelled sides and a golden medal set into the case on the motorboard. Just as they did so, they were approached by a red-faced figure with a rather aggressive attitude. "You must be French EMG Collectors! You must be French EMG Collectors!" said the sinister figure, twice in fact, as he slithered up to our heroes. Où est la plume de Montart?" said the squire. "We shall meet again, don't know where, don't know when," said the leading dealer. "Here's my card," as he produced a card with a large raspberry printed on it. He slithered back to join the shadowy figures at the back of the room. "That fooled them," said the professor. "I'm not sure," said the squire. "Look at this card." Just then the sound of a Bugatti was heard outside. Or is it? Yes, I think it was actually Bugatti. Oh dear. Or is it? No, it's a Swiftmobile, cried the professor. "Look, I see the sun reflecting off the trunk of the solid silver elephant with howdah on the front radiator." "Who is it?" said the squire. "It's the dealer with the large tombstones," said the professor. "We must get to him first." They cycled across the large sale room, past the thousands of records, their onions turning in the breeze, and the sun glinting off their striped jerseys and berets, just as a scream resounded through the auction rooms. But luckily it was just a lady spotting one of the ring members' wig on the floor and thinking it was a rat. It gave the professor enough time to stuff some blue tack into the dealer with the prominent teeth's mouth as he left his car, which was mysteriously still running even though he'd switched it off. Our heroes hid behind a large red van and compared the two blue tack impressions. "It's him," said a relieved professor. "We can leave them to it, knowing all is well in this auction." They rode back to Mrs. Bunn, the Baker Street, for crumpet. That should have been plural, viewers. That would have implied, I think. But was all well, viewers? Tune in tomorrow night for the 6th part of the Gramophonic murder mystery. Who knows what will happen? It's bound to be, well, something. Thank you, viewers, and goodbye.